since 2014. Also given me many more, come to think about it. My apologies, apparently my audio engineer couldn't hear the thank yous. Can you hear me now, Mr. Audio Engineer? Is that much better? My greatest thank yous. Solving my problems since 2014, I think was the caption put, if you couldn't hear that loud and clear for you. Hi Mom, welcome. Sure, everybody knows the bowler hat man, right? If not, the bowler hat man is Rene Magritte. He's a Belgian artist, famous Belgian artist. And today is my little inspirative piece of the Belgian artist, surrounding what I'm sure is everybody's relatable issues at the moment. Wonderful, Alex, I'm glad. I was just about to do that anyway. So this Belgian artist drew the bowler hat man. The bowler hat man, this is what I've learned today. Go ahead and do all your fact checking you want yourself. But after watching a few YouTube videos, inspired after coming up with this drawing and remembering this drawing from college, I thought I would go ahead and watch some YouTube videos and see if anybody could interpret what his surrealist art was all about. And a bit like Dali and a bit like the other artists, they just wanted to get away from everything that was out there at the moment and live in the dream state world with their heads in the clouds, as some would say, or away with the fairies and butterflies. So Rene Magritte sat down, and this was apparently the start of his self-portraiture. On the original drawing you can see his eye just poking out on this side with his eyebrow. And from what I could understand from the video today, his mother committed suicide when he was about 14 years old. Obviously shook his world a little bit more than he expected to ever happen at 14 years old. But from then he had this theory and this idea that what the world presents to you or what is given to you by you will never fully understand the person that's in front of you. He thought he understood his mother and what was going on, and hey, look what happened. So it inspired his artwork, and this one, on the original drawing, behind his arm here, his elbow faced the scene and his little eye was peeking out, all giving the impression, excuse me, sorry, that there was always something else going on behind the scenes, and it was no matter what was presented to you, there was always another agenda. It was pretty apt timing to finish that little bit of the virus bit on the apt agenda, wasn't it? But that was the start of what I learned about Rene Magritte today. Self-portrait of him was with the bowler hat on, and unlike other surrealist artists, apparently he wasn't so much away with the fairies. His experience had, could say, grounded him somewhat, and where the surreal world sat in the chaos of what it produced, he was quite a conservative man with his bowler hat and his suit and tie. Liked his routine, liked what was important to him, his family, his drawing, his friends, his fire apparently. And this is what he sat and enjoyed his life and drew the surreal artwork. And that was the bowler hat man, and that is called the Son of God. Many more interpretations on the Son of God, if I'm honest. But who knows what the artist is actually trying to draw when they're doing what they're doing. obviously another big bit to this drawing, that's just up here, everything falling from the sky. This is another bit of Rene Magritte inspired artwork, and these again were all the bowler hat men of this one, all falling from the sky with their little umbrellas. And if I've pronounced it right, this one is called Gloconda, and this was, I think this was a French place, a place in France, and another one of his illustrations to outline the roboticism of men, how everyone just falls in line when asked. And this came from a place called Gloconda that became rich with diamond. Here comes a whiskey bar. Audio engineer, I'm loosening up the vocal cords. Sorry, where were we? Gloconda was a city that was founded on diamonds and became rich with all its inhabitants, and obviously its profitability. And from this, all these people turned up. They wanted a little piece of what was going on, but they all had to conform and fall into place. And this was another part of the doodle today. A pretty loose idea and deal. We're all locked down at the moment. We're all hard up for outage, and I'm sure that's brought artwork to many people's minds, if not even inspired by, to do a piece like this. But that's what inspired this piece for me. Now who's hiding behind this? Who knows? But I've currently fallen in place, sat at home, waiting to be allowed out, waiting for the doors to open up. But if I can make artwork like this while I'm here, fine by me. We have a new baby, if you haven't seen on Instagram already. And well, if you've not been on Instagram, go to Instagram at NINOART. Check out the artwork there. That's going from all abstract wall art to these doodles. I'll be for sure creating some abstract artwork on here and some walkthroughs at some point. But as far as today goes, if anybody wishes to know, that is, it's been my partner's duty day of work all through the afternoon, so I have been child number one looker after her through the hours of 1 till 5 today, and when she's sleeping it's perfect time to try and get a doodle on the go. When she wakes up it's equally as fun. Sure, she's got something to learn out of it at some point. Mum will be doing it for many years to come. And if you go check NINOART on there, you'll be able to see the pictures up on there of me and Ayla doing our drawing today. So what particularly draws you to surreal art? Excuse the pun, is that? What draws me to surreal art is me, pretty much. I suppose it's first off the artists and learning them at school. Understanding surreal art was a thing. The dreamlike state. The dreamlike state has always been an inspiration. It is a contemplative place, a place for thought. I find myself in meditation coming up with the ideas of what's there. I was watching a documentary the other day that discussed Salvador Dali. He was on it, and in that the presenter turned around and was like, does anybody ever understand you? That's really concerning if somebody ever asks you that, isn't it? Does anybody ever understand you? I think it's even more concerning when somebody actually does understand you and everybody else is asking that, and I quite enjoyed his explanation of his artwork. Salvador Dali used to wait to a point where he would sit and contemplate his art, and moments before slumber he would practice his dreamlike engagement and get in, and then that's where he found his artwork. Whatever comes to filling your car with cauliflower and driving to an award ceremony, I've got no idea out of that stage, but that's where he found his artwork. That's what he enjoyed to do. Another artist whose name evades me, who inspires me as well. But I think that's just because I was told about how they do it, and I thought, hey, that's pretty nifty. Because if you get to the dreamlike state, you're almost asleep at this point, and sleep's a wonderful place to be, so how do you not just drift into it and remember to wake up and do your drawings and jot them down before they fritter away? They go into their back room and they sit with their keys in their hand, and they get to a place of rest and slumber and dreamlike state. And as you go to this place, you're obviously just dreaming off. And as they did that, they would drop the keys. And in dropping the keys, it would wake them up and remind them that they had to go and write their drawing down. Go and get doodling. And it was at that time that they'd get there. Hold up. Who inspired me to study art? Let's see this one. Who inspired me to study art? First and foremost is obviously, it's going to sound proper cliche, but it obviously has to be my own enjoyment and the efforts of mum and dad in order to go forward and keep doodling and enjoy it. I suppose more of a Mickey tape with my dad, have to keep doodling all the time, but here we are, Nino Doodles. It's for you, Dad. Then I could probably say my Uncle David. Do you remember the little penguin icon I did for Uncle David? That was a real key moment. That was, oh look, somebody enjoyed that. If I look back at it now, I'd probably hate it. And although a beautiful question from my sissy, I'm sure she will also know one of my biggest inspirations for my art at this, of an encouragement point if you like, would be Stuart Gray. Stuart Gray was my college tutor. He was he is a great guy. Go check out Wickerfish Art Studio. That's online, Wickerfish Art Studio, and he does all watercolour paintings based out in Sedbergh in the Lake District. He's a great man. Now, with his missus and his dog and his grandchildren, I'm sure he's stoked. But then, artist-wise in themselves, like I said, I just mentioned those. JMW Turner actually is always a big inspiration that I don't forget about, but I have to remind myself occasionally that goes, hey, that person really, there's so much art going on, I suppose, in the world that I really forget. I was always told at college, who are you inspired by? Who are you inspired by? And then I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna go look up these people and say I'm inspired by these, which kind of defeats the object, I suppose. But then I remember going to an art gallery one year and I saw JMW Turner. Completely the opposite artwork to what I create, but I like the mystery of his realism that he put out, the smoky effect on the water. He'd create like burning ports with ships going in, but it was quite abstract for the era of when he was drawing, that's for sure. Yes, they inspired me, and then your obvious Salvador Dali's, and when we went to Barcelona, Gaudi and all that sort of stuff, but just because of its obscurity, like, it's not quite the contemporary art of obscurity where you really have to look deep for meaning and try and understand what it is. I suppose the beauty of them is that you're probably never going to understand what they are. They're just quirky to look at and spend a lifetime trying to interpret. So yeah, those are my inspirations. I just read your second comment there, Naomi. That's brilliant. I will have a look who they are afterwards. I don't remember those, but it sounds pretty surreal in itself. I'll definitely go check it out. That sounds funny. Quite similar to Kandinsky. Is that how you say it? Kandinsky? What a beautiful way to view the world, though. Viewing the world as music and colours. He thinks about what blue would sound like. So a pretty cool concept, considering that. I was at university and I'd watched a documentary regarding something with optical illusions, I think it was. It was a TED talk anyway. And I tried inspiring the audio engineer who just came in and fixed all my audio on here, and then a few people at university, but it was a big test to take on while I was at university. I wasn't characterily strong enough, if you like, or I didn't have the knowledge behind me to fulfill it and see it through. But I wanted to see if you could if everything was a frequency and you could turn that frequency into sound. Colour has a frequency. What would that frequency sound like? What would the frequency of colour sound like? And could I take a picture I painted and play it back with all of the colours resonating with the frequency that they made the sound? Now, I don't know if it would. What if it would probably sound terrible. I suppose that's half the art of it. Figuring out what you could paint and what it would sound like. So I'm still yet to fulfill that goal, so if Kandinsky wants to come along, I've got a few ideas for it that I'd love to hear from them and pitch in. it'd be a really cool project to see the world as colour and music. Hey, is everybody enjoying this music? It's a bit more upbeat than I usually draw to, but this is an inking session and not a thinking session. Wait, I think... Oh yeah? Amazing, that's brilliant. I'll definitely take a look at... Hey, how witty is that you got all that for your kids in school? I'll definitely go look at it after this. In fact, I'm going to open it up on a page right now. Haha. What does each aspect represent? Well, as I explained before, Rene Magritte, this is your beautiful moment of where we're at with the coronavirus, I suppose. Oh, am I allowed to say that on here doing a live stream? Who knows, we'll see. And everybody locked down in their homes. And as I said before about Rene Magritte, it was the idea that everybody hides behind a mask, hides behind something, I suppose. Whether it's their own mask, whether it's somebody else's mask, behind coronavirus, behind their fears. I don't know. Who knows what people hide behind? Lots of people hide behind lots of different things. But there's always another version, another idea, another representation of what could be, what could come out. So that's that bit. The suit. It's always something represented. Whoever wears a suit's hiding behind something, I suppose. Beautiful flowers. There's a bit of life up there. Still a bit of life hanging around in all of this. The houses, well, everyone's locked indoors at the moment, but I suppose they're inspired from where I'm living at this moment in time. The tree over here, it's got no life on it at the moment, but I think I'm gonna put it on. I would hope to put it on. And can you see what all these are? Can you see these yet? What all these are falling from the sky? If not, wait, I'm sure you can put it all together till the end. At the end. But I really enjoyed making this piece today. In the kitchen with the sunshine. But this is quite a way away from the drawings I usually do, I suppose. They're usually quite natural, quite organic, rather than so rulery and structured. Though the graphic designer on the other side of my heart was not be opposed to that, I suppose. So I got told last time I was on live that they could keep seeing my fringe. How's that going for today? Can you keep seeing my fringe? Is his name Wolsey Kandinsky? Wallacey? He's a Russian painter and art theorist. He's generally credited as the pioneer of abstract art. Ooh, that's exciting, Naomi, thank you. Wow. One of his paintings is sold for 21.2 million. Maybe I should go ahead and try out, see what my colours sound like. Thank God for the fringe. Let's go to his Wikipedia and see what it's all about. Ah, Naomi, I've just checked the Wikipedia and he has my glasses. That's pretty cool. This is my artwork inspired by Rene Magritte. Now I said that a moment ago on the leaves thing, like I always found it more difficult getting the structure of the tree rather than drawing the leaves on the tree. So I leafed them off. But sorry about that. That was terrible. I will debate. There is life in this drawing, in these trees, in these plants up here, so I think I'll probably add it to those in the end. But today I got inspired by a lovely human being in the swing by putting part of what's happening here by putting the tape across the swing. At this moment, all the parks have been closed, pretty sad. I think that's going to be the only, no life in the swing at the moment. But life will be on the tree. Just got to get through all these lines on a building. Why did I do this to myself? You know, sometimes I hope other people feel the same thing, but you come with this idea that you think, yeah, that's gonna be great. But you start inking it out and you're like, holy hell, why did I start? Bloody hell, why did I start it? I suppose the things you put the effort into, you appreciate at the end. It's alright, I see you branching out on the questions, it's all good. But I'm going to lead you right through the path now and say, you're not barking mad, and I'm going to leave an amber on that decision, and I will let you know in the end. I wonder if I look at this in a few years' time, the meaning will be all different. Or if it will be all this. I suppose it will still mean something for me of when I drew it, where I drew it, the inspiration of the buildings and the time. Let's hope we're out of a different time by that time. It's coming together a bit, I'd say. Ooh, the time you get a brand new pen, I don't know if you're not going to be able to see this, but when you get your old pen and it's well worn in, it all runs the way your hand runs. When you get this, it's all squared off and new. It's wonderful having a new pen, but gotta wear it in like a new pair of shoes. Make it fit my grip. Feels pretty not part of my body, and I know it's not part of my body, but yeah, I don't like it. That's not working for me, frankly. Let's see how this goes. Next one's a Sharpie, and I think that one's just a bit too thick for what we want. Hey, yeah, what is that special emoji? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, definitely the natural art. Definitely the natural art. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be creating the What Did I Learn Wednesday, and part of my What Did I Learn Wednesday was discussing all about Rene Magritte. So who better to be inspired by today and create this afternoon? Push yourself out there, I suppose. I flow a bit easier with the natural stuff. Maybe I'm more well trained, my hand in the natural stuff. Well trained, not like this pen. Let's see, I'll let you know when I put the leaves on your tree. Or maybe I should leave them with no leaves, considering it feels unnatural. Thank you again. So who was it before who asked me what was my inspiration? Somebody asked me before what was my inspiration. It just came into the room and left pretty fast. No, I'm joking. There's many, many more than that. But yeah, my college tutor, Stuart, was a big... It was just based on his character as well, how he lived, how he spoke, what it meant, go out and get you again. The morals that I've been brought up with, the values of how to conduct yourself through your artwork. We went on a trip to Florence as a college, not just me and my college tutor. I was at college and I followed him around like a stick of glue. I was always by his side, trying to learn, trying to understand what he was doing, trying to figure out how he could make his hands draw the way he drew. And well, that was nearly 10 years ago and I still didn't figure that out. But yeah, like I said, Wickerfish Art Studio is his page on Facebook. It's definitely worth a look. And through that I introduced my parents to him, and they picked up one of his pieces one day, and his piece, I think the one they have at home is Italy, which is a place that they love as well. Not Florence on this occasion. It was Venice, I think, this one. But we sat in the top end of the Uffizi Gallery while everybody was staring at the statue of David's bottom. Drawing outside. Drawing at the window, sorry, not outside. We drew at the window. Looking out over the, I don't know its full name, but what I call the Pirate Bridge. Pretty inspiring bridge. And I just watched him, how he picked up the shapes, the shadows. And I think that's what pulled me to illustration. I was on a graphics course with him at the time, but that's what pulled me more to illustration than graphics. But again, you have to be a good illustrator to be a good graphic designer. There's always going to be time for an analog profession, I suppose. Hello? Hello Wendy Pybus, welcome to said chat. Any tips on how to fill in those lines so neat and straight? Don't use this pen, use this pen with this hand. And my trusty transparent ruler. Awesome, that's good to hear. I'm sure, well, if you're sat there we can all have a laugh at this one, can't we, Wendy? What better way to make you feel more inspired than drawing a painting of being locked down while you're locked down? Yeah, drawing with Ayla today was novel, different, pretty fun. Probably easier, better while she was sleeping. But I hope one day we can do it together. It easier. I actually find it easier drawing with the pencil first. I think I got asked that one a bit earlier on. Suppose it's a confidence thing. I think about erasing more if I've used the pen first than I do if I've used the pencil first, so that would suggest it's a confidence thing. But I don't often rub out the ink marks I put down first, though I enjoy to go straight in with the pencil and ink over the top to get it crisp, fresh. Feel, look. Ah, Wendy, out of all your travels, where was the most artistically inspiring? Florence, without a second question. For obvious reasons, and probably some unobvious reasons to myself. Florence was the birth of the Renaissance, the period of everything that was lovely in the world again after the war, I suppose, but inspiring to me inspiring all over Florence. That was a place I also went and saw the diamond encrusted skull, so that was something that was a bit novel of that time, which was beautiful. I like drawing the mountains, as you'll see in other natural drawings I've done. I like drawing the mountains, and for that I would always say that Thailand and Asia, for its high-rising mountains and peaks and troughs of mountains, was a big inspiration. But then also, which I never made it to, but pictures of, was Milford Sounds in New Zealand. Also equally as inspiring. I've just done a commission piece based around that at the moment. But New Zealand for me was very inspiring for its wilderness and its wild aspect of nature. Again, I don't so much like drawing houses in my natural environment. If drawing a house, I draw lots of them, evidently, but I don't usually draw a house in and amongst the trees. So yeah, it was those two places. I'm very much inspired by the Japanese art and the sumi inks and the mountains and traditional Japanese art like that. I think is where my art has developed over the years. And you know, I think really why Thailand inspired me more is because I had the this will not be the first time you've heard this. I had the time. Time is precious. Time is precious. Yeah. I had the time to sit and look and be inspired and draw and get lost in the views of what I was seeing. I really enjoyed that. To be able to sit on one of the best times I had drawing Wendy was being sat on a boat travelling down the Mekong River for 3 days, and we were sat on car seats rolling down the river and bobbing along. And you've seen the boats in Thailand. Car seats thrown inside, that's where you sat. Not like baby car seats though, that probably would have been more secure for me. But I just looked out the window the whole time and drew and drew and drew, and that was a journey for like 3 days of 16, 17 hour stints at the time to get over to Laos. Sounds terrible, but it was actually wonderful. Yeah, and that'd be my most inspiring pick, I think, Wendy, that would be. Another very inspiring pick. I suppose he would fit into the surreal, comically surreal, beautifully surreal. Dr. Seuss. Heading to Dr. Seuss land in Florida. I don't know if my mum would remember, but I'm sure she saw my face go back to when I went there at like 11 years old, and I was like 22 when I went, just gone. Maybe just a bit older probably. But I didn't even know Dr. Seuss land existed in Florida. And I went and it was amazing. Yeah, Dr. Seuss is another inspiration. For his poetry, for his words, for his art, for his comics, all sorts I like him for. Thank you. I just saw your comment. Did some beautiful pieces from Thailand, some of my favourites. Yeah, they're very inspirative. I think, the tranquility of the people there as well. Everybody is, I don't know, you would think in judgment, I suppose. You would, before going there to judgment, you would think that everybody is looking for time, making the most of the time, but everybody has lots of, they spend their time well. Whether it's on you, whether it's on their family, whether it's on drawing, seems to be time there. I enjoy that. would you say, Dan? I think there's a trade-off between an artist putting their most confident foot forward and a fresh take that presents a new challenge for the artist. Something new for the viewer to consider. Yeah. That's great. You make me sound well versed in my field. I'm ready to attempt a different verse, that's for sure. I spent a lot of time doing oil paintings again. Thanks, Mom, for the conservatory. I spent a lot of years doing oil paintings, inspired. Oh, can't believe I forgot this fine gentleman on the inspirative talk. Bob Old Ross. Again, another man that had a lot of time. Why did you say time? I'm trying to think. Then you took life with a stride rather than a run. That's inspirational in itself. While I'm here, I'm just getting pictures sent to me of Ayla, our daughter. And she just woke up from a little nap. And she looks adorable. Brilliant. Then tell me, Wendy, which out of the ones that I've done, that you have seen obviously, was your favourite? Which do you like the most? So here's a story about favourite pieces as well. When I did my oil paintings, I still did, I did one the other week, but they were my go-to, they were my enjoyment like these are now. And I did them, and my mum asked me for an original piece, as any wonderful mama would, before I went off traveling. So I did, I took the time and I did an original piece for my mom. So happy, she loved it. Couldn't wait to frame the piece herself. Couldn't wait to have a piece up on her wall that I'd done, which absolutely beautiful. And my dad, being the wonderful gentleman that he is, decided he would frame it for her for when she got home, put it up on the wall, and it'll be lovely. Now, the one thing that I never did as a young budding artist was sign off a piece. Obviously you sign off the piece when it's finished, and as true as it's now that I never knew at the time, an artist is never finished with their work, so I find myself never signing off a piece. So it's what she requested. I want a finished piece off you before you leave. Hits the nerves and hits the hearts for the request, which is beautiful. I enjoyed that. So I stuck to it. Dear Mother, of course, and it was done. It was ready, it was framed, signed. I don't know, why does every artist sign it in the bottom corner? What, like, does anybody know a reason for that? Every artist signs their work in the bottom corner. I don't know. I'll find that one out for next week's Wednesday episode. But my dad went to frame it and he chopped it off. He chopped off the only bit that she requested. I suppose she did. I suppose she cared about the artwork. I suppose she only cared about me finishing it, really. But he putting my mind to something and finishing it, but he chopped it off, bless him. He chopped off the signature, which was the only bit that she really requested. I don't know if she's ever forgiven him, but it's pretty comical for me. Every time I think of it, it makes me smile. Trying to do something nice and it gets shot down. Nah, that's not the story of your life, is it, Dad? Oh, well, this is going to take a little bit longer than I expected. This is not going to be finished by 1:30, and well, duties start at 1:30. Maybe it will have to be a job you lovely folk come back and see on Instagram. I'm also debating whether to watercolor this. It's on watercolor paper. And well, after Naomi's comment, I'd be pretty inspired to do so. Maybe, but once I get these buildings done, I'm sure we'll fly. These are the bit that take a while. Maybe I need a little bit more inspiration. Ah, lovely Wendy, I just saw your message. Sorry on the delay on that one. And some beautiful pictures of Ayla coming through to me. Yeah, they were different again. Watercolors is another inspirative one. It's Stuart works with watercolors, and they're a challenge for me, Wendy. I really have to throw my mind into concentration to use them. Takes a little bit of the carefree enjoyment out of it, but then that obviously doesn't speak for the work when you enjoy it. Dan seems to do the same with that. There'll be pieces that I turn around to Dan and I'm like, I really don't like this. And he'll say, yeah, I like that. Which is good. And Wendy, you were telling me you wanted a commission, so let me know. I don't suppose you want a coronavirus art piece up on your wall, hey? Ah, Dumbo. Yeah, the Dumbo one is a bit sweet, isn't it? My grandmother has fallen in love with Dumbo as well. I should put that one up online. Well, that one will be available online when Nino Doodle's website and shop is open. Are you sure? You're not fully inspired, Wendy? So yeah, learning about Rene Magritte today was great. I saw Rene Magritte at school, in graphics, in university. And you get inspired by artists, but you don't really... I think uni's a real weird one. I think you need a... I'm so grateful I got to go, like it served me well. But you really need to know what you want to do there to maximize your whole potential there, I suppose. You can go there and if you want to take something from it and be really inspired, I still always would recommend the year away, the breakaway, the year out that everybody suggests otherwise for. You can really take yourself away and figure out who you are first. There's a lot of effort to be pushed into where you want to go, where you should go. Where did the other pen go from before? Ah, right there. But I think once you can take yourself away and figure out what your interests are, I mean, if you've got that at the time, go for it. But if you can't take yourself, well, like, I'd love to go back to university and study philosophy, psychology. Freud was a big influence. Sigmund Freud was a big influence for the surreal art world. For obvious reasons, he loved to study the dream-like state. The dream state is where surreal artwork really flourishes. I would like something to remind me of all the colours from Thailand. Yes, I agree. All the way from the markets to the oranges to the sunsets. That'd be a great pop-in picture. I can figure that out. I just bought some gold leaf foil today as well, so that is also very prominent to embellish in gold in Thailand. Reds and golds. And Dan, what does my art change or develop since uni and how? experiential wisdom. At uni, I always felt I was doing it for someone. I've got to do it for my teachers, I've got to do it for my mum and dad, I've got to say I come to uni for this and that, but not in a negative way, just I wasn't feeling it from me, I suppose, in that essence. It wasn't the deepest parts of me that wanted it. And since travelling, when the only thing I had to go with was this and a piece of paper, I couldn't really carry much art. I didn't want to carry much art stuff around with me. My only art stuff at that time was my camera, really, and I loved that. Then I felt like I was always stuck behind the camera and never really observed what I came out to observe. And then 2014, I came and met a fine gentleman in Melbourne. And we went out walking one day and went round the streets. Anyway, another day I went out by myself in near Flinders Station, as I would do. Went and randomly stopped talking to an artist on the street. And all he did was ink drawings. He did inks and he did it with an ink pen. And that was the day I was like, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy myself a new ink pen and a sketchbook. And that was my only means of doodling I had whilst travelling. And I learned to love black. Who wouldn't? Black ink was brilliant. I enjoyed the contrast of it. I enjoyed working with it after the pencil. And it was really, I suppose, coming to Melbourne, and the guy on the side of the road, he was wacky. He used to draw ink drawings. I suppose he wanted to do it in a surreal way, but came across pretty bizarre. He married a woman. The woman lived in his paintings, and he married her through the illustrations he did on his paintings. And he drew his love for her, as he put it. And this gentleman inspired me to work with only pen and ink. And that's when prior to that, I worked with oils. And he was the man that inspired me to work with, well, he wasn't the man that inspired me to do it. I inspired myself to do it, but seeing that made me go out and pick up a sketchbook and a pen that day and say, right, get back to your art. This is what you're going to use from now on. You can't take much with you while you're traveling, so see what you can do with this medium. And this is what I learned to do with this medium. It's not let me down. I've enjoyed it. But I will dip back into my oils and acrylic paints too. Wendy, back to your question. I think actually, if you're still here, Wendy, I think oils will be pretty striking on the wall rather than acrylics as well, if you're looking for a large canvas. wonder if the audio engineer is around and if he would like to join me for some inspiration. Oh, that's sweet. Apparently you could hear Ayla on stream scream. Ayla's our daughter. Cheers. Cheers. Yes. I think that's what I enjoy too, Wendy, the detail that goes into it. This one, I don't know. It is detailed, but we'll send you through the link for the next live session when it goes back to the more natural things I do, and I enjoy like the little hidden bits I put into it. And hidden, I'd say hidden like there's a secret message there, but not just hidden like, oh, you've got to keep looking. Oh, there's a new thing here or a new thing there. And do you have any favourite artists and or artwork? Dan or Wendy? Dan and Wendy, I would like to know both. I hope so. She's shouting in support for a mummy or a tummy, either way. Either way, it's beautiful. I just got a picture of her watching the TV, watching mummy's live stream. screen here a bit? No, not really. Perfect. I can't wait for the thrift store to open again. So I can go and get some more canvas. I actually can't wait till tomorrow for my daytime working session rather than my evening working session, where I will be able to practice the gold leaf I picked up today. I tried it in a sketchbook today, completely the wrong time by all accounts. I don't suppose there's ever a wrong time to be creative, but in the eyes of the structure, there is an incorrect time apparently. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I will Instagram it and let you know how it goes. If you have Instagram, it's at NINOART. I suppose there's some essence of me that enjoys the structure of this drawing, although my selection is still escaping. Buildings, but I don't think we are gonna be done before the routine has to take hold. There is a mummy who's being summoned. We love our doodles, we love our daughter. Here comes the saddest sign for many businesses at this time. And Wendy, if you ever I like to chop my vegetables small. Only I can just about read that, even with my new glasses on. Inking this tree will be my last job of the evening, and I will come back on and show you the finished piece. There will also be posts on my Instagram page of the finished piece. The magnification, even when I went for my new glasses the other week, the woman came out and she said, wow, they are very magnified. So, I don't know, maybe the pieces of vegetable, the words, and everything I do tiny is, maybe that seems normal size to me and it is actually really tiny for everybody else that views it. I don't know. For me it looks pretty normal size, but for the lady at the optician and for yourself, they tell me it's all pretty small. I got the glasses from 1921. They're very, very old, and my dad gave them to me as a prop. Well, he bought them as a prop and gave them to me. He didn't give them to me. I totally asked for them. Anyway, the arms on the back are like real vintage arched arms over the ears, and they're spirals, and something is breaking on those that's breaking my heart about the whole thing. So I had to go out and buy new glasses, as having glasses from 1921 with a 4-month-old baby doesn't serve well when she goes to grab them. But for this evening, this is Nino Doodles signed off. Thank you very much to everybody that joined. Chill music, whiskey and whiskey cubes. Thank you very much, and I will make sure to come back on and show you the finished product when it's all coloured, lined in, done, and